So I put a post out on a couple of my social media platforms some time ago, and I was asking people who were building businesses and also working a 9 to 5 what their biggest challenge was. And unanimously, they came back with time or the lack of it. So I thought I'd do this video and speak about the strategies that I put in place that has helped me in my 9 to 5 and with building a business and avoid the overwhelm. So if this is something that might interest you, stay tuned. So it is not easy when you are working a 9 to 5 because that takes up a huge chunk of your day. And then you're building a business and that takes a huge chunk of brain space as well. And you need time and energy to do that. But there were some time management strategies that I put in place for my 9 to 5. And I found that they were interchangeable when it came to using them in my business as well. Because when you're working a 9 to 5, managing a family, building a business, you got friends and family, other responsibilities and a life to have as well. It all adds up and it can take its toll and it can get overwhelming. So these were some of the things that I found kept me on task and brought about some much needed balance. So the first thing I used was time blocking. And if you use any type of diary, you're going to put in what you have to do at whatever time and on whatever day. But time blocking can go a little bit further than that because you build in time around that task so that you have enough time to get things done. Because one of the things that you find is if you say, oh, I'm just going to take 20 minutes to do something, we don't always know how long a task takes. And sometimes your 20 minutes can turn into 2 hours because there's so many steps that a task can take and you don't realize it until you're elbow deep in it and you've overrun and have no time for the other things on your to-do list. So one of the things that will help with time blocking is really timing yourself as to how long certain tasks take. It might be something at work and you've got a particular report to write. How long does that really take you? Because sometimes they may say, oh, this takes an hour and a half, but you know that there are certain steps that you have to do in there and it could take you 3 hours. So when you're proactive in finding out how long tasks take, when you go to your diary and you start blocking in time to do certain things, that will help you across the week. Because if you've got this task that takes say 2 to 3 hours, you might prefer not to put it on a day when you know you've got a couple of those things to do or a couple of heavy meetings. You might be able to put them in interchangeably with something that might actually take you 20 minutes or half an hour so that you could just knock that out. So time blocking really helps you to plan your time in such a way that you're not overcommitting or doing too much at a time. And it really helps when you look at it across a week so that you can balance out the things that you need to do in a week and ensure that you meet your deadlines. And it also means that when you draw a line under the end of your day, you also have time for yourself and then time for your business, wherever it is that you put that, whether it's at the beginning of the day, the end of the day, or on the weekends. One of the other techniques that people use that has worked for many, and I use it on and off, it's not a regular thing, but it's called the Pomodoro technique. And that is similar to time blocking because you're going to set time when you're going to do certain tasks and certain pieces of work. But this is timing yourself and giving yourself breaks. So they are quite similar. But with the Pomodoro technique, you might think, okay, I'm going to sit here and be dedicated to a task for this particular time. And what you do is you put your timer on for maybe 20 minutes or half an hour or 45-minute stretches, and then you have breaks in between. And many people do find that useful to keep you focused on a piece of work rather than jumping from one thing to another and then having to get your focus back on it. So using the Pomodoro technique will stop the multitasking and just keep you focused until completion. The second time management strategy that you will always hear me talk about is setting goals. And I love goal setting so much that I have created a free resource for you. If you haven't got it already, go download it. It's free 99. It's a workbook called the Goal Getter Generator, and it will help you to get those goals out of your head onto paper and get rid of the overwhelm, because it's going to help you with prioritizing and setting out your steps and your tasks. Goal setting is so important. It's kind of like jumping in the car and you've got an idea of where you're going. You've never been there before, but you're not going to put the sat nav on. Like, how are you going to get there? And you know what? By some fluke, you might actually get there, but you would have got there a bit quicker, more efficiently, with time and saving energy and headache if you had put the sat nav on. But chances are you're not going to, because you didn't set your path, didn't have a plan, and didn't have steps in which to get there. So for both work and your business, ensure that you are very clear on your goals and what you're meant to be doing. And linked to those goals, you will always hear me talking about planning. You have to live intentional days. So you have to know what your year plan is, and that is for your work and your business. And you have to know what you're expected to do every quarter, every month, every week, every day. If you are living intentional, you have a plan that is focused on your goals, then you'll be more organized and you will always be on track. Number 4, delegate and outsource where possible. So for both work and for your business, wherever you can delegate and outsource or get support to help you do that, so that you can focus on the high priority actions and activities. One of the reasons, however, that we don't always delegate and outsource is because we don't trust enough. We have this saying that if you want something done, you have to do it right. And I do think to myself, okay, sometimes it does come down to that. But if you are surrounded by people who you are unable to delegate to or outsource to, that you can't trust to get things done, something's wrong. You've missed a step. You haven't empowered the people around you to be able to take responsibility and get things done. Because as well, they will have their own way of doing something. But as long as you get the desired effect and you reach the goal, let them do it. Not everything has to be done your way. So release yourself of that burden of perfection, of thinking that only you can do certain things, and empower the people around you so that they can step up and help you get your things done. Think about it. You're building a business and you're working a 9 to 5. You don't intend to be in that 9 to 5 forever, right? So why are you not empowering the people around you so that they can step in when you go? And then when it comes to your business, the people who are around you in terms of your business, empower them so that they too can walk in your footsteps and use you as an inspiration, because they may also have their ideas and they can see how things work so that they can go on to do great things for themselves as well. So it's a win-win. But the most important thing from that is that you need to learn to ask for help. I had to do it, and it wasn't the easiest thing to do, because you think, oh, they're not going to be able to do it the way that I want to. But when you ask for help, there's 3 things that can happen. You can get a no. Fine, you move on. But most likely you will find that there are so many people who are actually out there willing to help. They just needed to be asked, and they probably thought that you just didn't need the help and you can do it all, when actually you can't do it all and you did need the help, and they're going to help you. And then number 3, you will find that when you ask for help, you might even get more ideas from those people with how to streamline the things you're doing. So it's a win-win. The 5th thing I do that really kept me on track in both my 9 to 5 and building a business was regularly reviewing and reflecting. This really helps with adjusting plans and refining strategies to ensure that there's forward momentum and that you remain in alignment with your goals. And the 6th strategy that I use sometimes doesn't feel like a time management strategy, because you're actually not doing anything, but that's what makes it so important. It's maintaining your work-life balance. And there's many different ideas when it comes to work-life balance, because people say it can never be balanced. But think about what a balance is. There are times when one's going to be up and there are times when one's going to be down, and you have to take that in stride. You have to ensure that one isn't impacting too much on the other, and the other way around, to avoid burnout. And that work-life balance looks like setting boundaries in work, learning to say no. And for your business, again, learning to say no, not taking on too much of other things that might stop you and eat into valuable time that you need for your business. That balance also looks like prioritizing self-care, because you need to be able to replenish that energy so that you can do the tasks and things that are needed to build your business. Juggling both means that your time and energy precious. So you have to be really intentional in how you're using your time. And if you want to look a little bit more about what that juggle looks like between your 9 to 5 and your business, have a look at the video that I did earlier on in balancing your 9 to 5 with building a business. And you'll find some more tips in there. So I hope that these strategies work for you. These strategies are going to be really useful in freeing up time for yourself, because you're going to need that time to network, research, find clients, and do those necessary tasks in starting and building your business. And doing so when you're working a 9 to 5 means that your time precious. So I hope that these strategies help you. And if they did, comment below on how they've helped you or share others that I may not have mentioned. So until the next video, bye.